come to your backs in a comfortable position. Whatever that looks like for you. Start by noticing your breath in all 4 parts of your breath cycle. Your breath in. The space at the top of your breath. Your breath out. And that pause right at the bottom. It's feeling how naturally your breath comes back in. Once you're ready to bring in movement, let's reach your arms overhead behind you. Extend your feet forward. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. And exhale, soften. And again, inhale, stretch, get longer. And exhale, soften. And this time, inhale, stretch and lengthen. Your exhale, walk your hands and your feet off to the right, just enough to feel that stretch in your left side. Big breath in. Open mouth. Exhale. Your inhale, make your way back through center. And on your exhale, walk off to the left. Let your shoulders soften. Big breath in. Open mouth. Let it go. On your inhale, make your way back through center. On your exhale, bend your knees, ground the soles of your feet about mat width. Slowly windshield wiper your knees side to side. And the next time that your knees come to the right, pause there. Gently press through the inside edge of your left foot, pressing your left knee forward. Reach your arms to the back left corner of your mat. Big breath in. Long breath out. And on your inhale, make your way back through center. Exhale, switch your sides. Gently press through the inside edge of your right foot, pressing your knee forward. Big breath in. Open mouth. Let it go. And then inhale, make your way back through center. On your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Any intuitive movement here. And then coming back to center. Release your hands, extend your feet to the ceiling. Spring your hands behind your legs. Gently draw your straight legs toward you. Big breath in. Hug your legs in a little bit closer. Breathe out. And then reach your hands up for your feet, your shins or ankles. Exhale, take a happy baby. Bend your knees to the outsides of your rib cage. Maybe scrunch your face to the ceiling a few times. Find that softness and contrast through all little muscles of your face. And release your feet, hug your knees back into your chest. And lower your left leg to the ground, wrap your strap around your right foot. We'll take a short or brief hamstring stretch here. Lower your foot or your leg enough so that you're lengthening your right leg all the way, actively engaging your right quad, pressing your foot into your strap. And then keeping that tautness, gently draw your straight leg back toward you, only so far as your leg stays all the way straight. Then let your upper arms and your shoulders soften. Big breath in. Breathe out. Take your strap in your left hand, cross your right leg over your left side. Breathe into that space between your right rib cage and hip. Big breath in. Long breath out. And on your next inhale, bring your right leg back through center. And on your exhale, strap in your right hand, open your right leg to the right. Only so far as your left hip stays on the ground. Notice your shoulders and your jaw and soften. Couple more full breaths here. And then as you're ready, bring your right leg back to center. Again, actively push your foot into your strap, engage your quad. Gently draw your leg toward you, shoulders soft. Breathe in. And exhale, take a half happy baby with your strap. Bend your right knee to the outside of your rib cage. Shoulders stay soft, let your upper arms stay soft. And on your inhale, actively push your right foot into your strap. Breathing right into your outer right hip, shoulders soft. And then exhale, let your hips soften so everything softens. Do that a couple more times, following your breath. And then after your next exhale, release your strap. Hug both knees into your chest. Take any intuitive movement. Then coming back to center. Bring your knees to roughly a 90-degree angle over your hips. Roll all the way to your left. Stack your right hip on top of your left. Peel open through your right side, keeping your hips stacked. So it's likely that your right shoulder won't be on the ground. That's fine. Couple more full breaths here. And as you're ready, come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. You circle your feet a few times, massaging your ankles. And then lower your right leg to the ground, wrap your strap around your left foot. Again, on this side, lower your leg enough to straighten it all the way. Squeeze your quad and then gently draw your leg back toward you. Shoulders soft. Keep actively engaging your left quad. And then take your strap in your right hand. Cross your left leg over your right side. Right into that space between your left rib cage and hip. Big breath in. Long breath out. Then bring your left leg back to center. Strap in your left hand, open your left leg to the left, only so far as your right hip stays on the ground. Couple more full breaths here. And then as you're ready, bring your leg back through center. One more time this side, push your foot into your strap, engage your quad. Gently draw your leg back toward you. Shoulders soft. Big breath in. Exhale, take a half happy baby. Bend your left knee to the outside of your rib cage. Keep your strap. Let your whole upper body soften, and then using just your outer left hip, inhale, push your foot up into your strap. Notice your jaw. And exhale, let everything soften. Couple more times your pace. And then after your next exhale, release your strap by your side. Hug both knees back into your chest. And then bring your knees back to a 90-degree angle over your hips. Roll all the way to your right. Stack your left hip on top of your right. Keep your hips stacked. Feel open through your left side. And maybe find somewhere for your left hand to rest so that there's less pull on your left shoulder. Few more full breaths here. As you're ready, make your way back to center. Hug your knees into your chest again. Maybe circle your feet a few times, massaging your ankles. Maybe circle your knees, getting deeper into your hips. And then come back to center. Hug your knees, actually alive. Lower your feet to the ground about hip width. Bring your fingers to graze your heels. Press your feet and your arms down, lift your hips, bridge pose. Without moving your feet, pull or feel as though you're pulling your heels back toward your arms. Counter that by pressing down through your arms so there's minimal pressure in your neck. And then once you've found that balance, engage your glutes, lift your hips up higher, and counter that engagement of your glutes by drawing your low belly toward your spine to support your low back. Come back to noticing your feet. Pull them back toward your arms. Press through your arms. Engage your glutes, lift your hips up higher. One more breath in. And exhale, lower down. Separate your feet to roughly the edges of your mat. Windshield wiper your knees side to side again. And then this time, come back to center for real. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock forward and backward along your spine. Make your way up to your seat. In your seat, taking an owl pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, twist to the left. Soften the tops of your shoulders. Sit taller, breathe in. On your exhale, draw your low belly in so that sitting tall isn't coming from arching your low back. Twist a little bit deeper to the left. And then keep this twist, but bring your chin over your right shoulder for a cervical spine twist. Another breath in. And exhale, unwind back to center. Roll out your shoulders. Another side, inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, twist to the right. Sit tall, breathe in. As you sit tall, notice what's happening in your low back. Draw your low belly and twist a little bit deeper. Taps of your shoulders soft. And then keep this twist, but bring your chin over your left shoulder. Big breath in. And exhale, unwind back to center again, roll out your shoulders. And then as you're ready, come forward into your tabletop. Take a few cat-cow breaths. Just following your breath, inhale, belly to the ground, gaze up. Exhale, round your spine. Press up through your mid-upper back. Add in any side-to-side movements to that. Take 4 or 5 more full breaths here. Come back to center. Bring your forearms to the ground. Press up through your mid-upper back as though you just did in your cat pose. And then step your feet back, forearm plank. Engage your glutes, squeeze your quads. Notice if your fingers are gripping more than they need to. Let them soften. And then as you engage your glutes, just as you did in your bridge, actively draw your low belly toward your spine. Again, supporting minimal arch in your low back. Keep squeezing your quads. Press up through your mid-upper back. Notice your fingers. You're here for 8. You've got this. Breathe. Slow your breath out. You're here for 4. Big breath in. And lower to the ground. Breathe out. Soften your feet, open your fingers, draw your arms back. Sphinx pose. Press your feet down into the ground as a means of really engaging your legs. Draw your low belly and engage your glutes. Lift your chest up. Another breath in. And exhale. Lower down, let everything soften. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. And then slide your fingers lightly underneath your shoulders. Press your feet down into the ground, cobra pose. Low belly in, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift your chest up. So very similar to Sphinx, but rather than pulling your arms into the mat, your fingers are light underneath your shoulders. Press down through your feet. Big breath in. And exhale. Lower down again, let everything soften. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. And then this time, reach your arms back behind you. Draw your low belly in as first priority to support your low back here. And then lift your chest, fly your arms. Make that reach intentional through your fingers. Squeeze your triceps and then engage your glutes, engage your quads, lift your legs up. Draw your low belly in tighter. And whether your legs are together or separate here, either way, Low belly and lift your chest up higher. Engage your glutes, engage your quads, lift your legs up a little bit higher. Make your arms intentional, reach through your fingers, triceps engaged, breathe in. And exhale, lower down, bend your knees, slide back, child's pose. From your child's pose, walk your hands forward and then lift your palms as though you had gecko fingers. Let your head and your neck soften, but press down through the pads of your fingers. Breathe right into that space between your shoulder blades. Big breath in. Breathe out. Another breath in. Your exhale, walk your hands towards the left. Keep your hips right where they're at. So this walking toward the left is stretching your right side body as opposed to having you rotate where your spine is. Let your shoulders soften a little bit. One more breath in, stretch. And exhale, come back to center. Then again, inhale, walk your fingers forward, lift your palms. Exhale, walk off to the right. Keeping your hips right where they're at, so you're twisting right into your left side body. Let your shoulders soften. One more breath in. Exhale, come back to center. And then come forward onto your hands, breathe in. Curl your toes under downward facing dog, breathe out. From your dog, inhale, press up high into your toes. And exhale, heels toward the ground. And again, inhale up high into your toes. Exhale, heels toward the ground. Inhale, extend your right leg up. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands, low lunge. Can help by sliding that right foot forward or slide your left leg back a little bit so that your right knee is right over your right ankle. Bend into your right knee, dip your hips, breathe in. Exhale, straighten, relatively speaking, your right leg. Actively engage your right quad, press through your right heel. Shoulders soft, fingers soft. Big breath in. Breathe out. Flowing this shape a couple of times. Inhale, bend into your right knee, dip your hips. And exhale, straighten, push through your right foot, engage your quad. And again, inhale, bend into your right knee. And exhale, straighten. And then keep pushing through your right foot, keep engaging your right quad. Just float that left leg up. So you're tipping your shape forward into a standing split, which is probably more like a standing T shape. As you continue to push through your right standing leg, engaging your quad, notice where your left hip bone is in space. Use your outer right hip to steer your left hip bone down. Your left leg will inevitably lower. And then so your left toes are pointed toward the ground. Keep that. Recommit to pushing through your right foot so you cultivate a little bit more space in your right hip crease. And then left toes still pointed to the ground. Engage your left glute, lift your left leg up higher. And then keep all of that in your base. Let your fingers and your shoulders soften. You're breathing right into your right standing hamstring. Engaging your quad to help protect it as it stretches. One more. Breath in. And exhale, step back, low lunge. Bend into your right knee again, dip your hips. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Press your feet down, engage your quads. This time, take a halfway lift with your spine. On your exhale, without moving your feet or your hips, walk your hands to the right just a few inches. Feel as though you're squeezing your inner thighs toward each other. Actively press down through both feet. Push back through your left heel. Big breath in. And exhale, unwind, quarter turn to the left. Wide-legged forward fold. Spend 5 or 6 full breaths here. Take whatever stillness or movement feels best to your body this moment. Your next exhale. Release your hands beneath your shoulders. Let's take a halfway lift. Breathe in. Exhale, hips stay right where they're at. Walk your right hand over toward your left foot. Press your feet down, engage your quads. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Twist to the left, so this twist is coming from your mid-upper back, as it was when we were on our backs with our knees stacked, taking that twist. Big breath in. And exhale, unwind, quarter turn back to the top of your space. Low lunge, bending into your right knee. Ground your palm, shift your weight to your left foot, extend your right leg up and back. 3-leg down dog, breathe in. Bend in, scorpion, breathe out. Engage your right glute, lift your right hip up, draw some circles with your right knee in both directions. And then on your next exhale, tuck your right knee in toward your nose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Press up through your mid-upper back, breathe in. Hug your right knee in tighter to your chest, breathe out. And then use your hamstring strength, hug your right heel up. You got it, plank pose, breathe in. Hold, stay right here, bring your knees to the ground. Press up through your mid-upper back, squeeze your triceps. Engage your left quad, float your right leg back up. Hips and shoulders stay roughly level. Engage your right glute, lift your right leg up higher from your glute strength. And then keeping your hips right where they're at, bring your right foot out to the right. Low belly in, squeeze your triceps. Big breath in. You got this, engage your right glute, bring your right leg out a little bit further. Come back to center. Lower your foot to the ground. And then slowly lower to the ground. It's time. Let's connect your hands behind you. Taking a hamstring strengthener right side. Bend your right knee, bring your heel to the outside of your glute. Press your left leg into the ground as you did with your Sphinx and Cobra. Low belly in to support your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, use your hamstring, hug your heel in. Maybe your right quad begins to lift. From here, still hugging your heel in, maybe play with pointing and flexing your right foot. You're pulling your heel in the whole time, so your hamstring's still working as you flex and point your foot. And then notice what's happening with that grounded left leg. Make it active. Low belly in, lift your chest up, arms are intentional. One more breath in. And exhale, lower down. Release your hands, bend your knees, slide back, child's pose. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. And then hands shoulder width. Come forward onto your palms, breathe in. Curl your toes under downward facing dog. And breathe out. Inhale, press up high into your toes. Again, exhale, heels toward the ground. One more time here. Inhale, press up high into your toes. And exhale, heels toward the ground. Then inhale, extend your left leg up. And exhale, step your left foot between your hands, low lunge. Bend into your left knee, dip your hips, breathe in. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Shoulders and fingers soft, nudge your right hip forward to square your hips. Actively engage your left quad, press through your left heel. Big breath in. Shoulders soft, breathe out. And then flow this a couple of times. Inhale, bend into your left knee, dip your hips. Exhale, straighten, push through your left foot. Again, inhale, bend into your left knee. And exhale, straighten. Keep pushing through your left foot. Keep engaging your left quad. Gaze in front of your left toes. Float that right leg up. So you're in that standing split / T shape. First, commit to pushing through your left foot and engaging that left quad. And then keeping that full strength, use your outer left hip to steer your right hip bone down so right toes point toward the ground. With right toes pointing to the ground, push down again even more firmly through your left leg. And then engage your right glute, keep your right toes pointed to the ground, lift your right leg up higher using your glute. Keep that strong base, let your torso soften over your left leg. Both quads are super strong. Big breath in. And exhale, step back, low lunge. Bend into your left knee, dip your hips. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Push through your feet, take a halfway lift with your spine. Breathe in. Exhale, keep your hips right where they're at. Walk your hands a little bit toward the left. Push back through your right heel. Feel as though you're squeezing your inner thighs toward each other. Big breath in. And exhale, unwind, quarter turn to the right. Wide-legged forward fold. And again, spend another 6 or 7 full breaths here. Take whatever stillness or movement feels best to your body in this moment. Couple more full breaths. Release your hands beneath your shoulders. Take a halfway lift. Breathe in, keeping your hips right where they're at. On your exhale, walk your left hand over to your right side. Then bring your right hand to your right hip. Twist to the right. Press through your feet. Engage your quads. Draw your shoulders back. Big breath in. On the exhale, unwind, quarter turn back to the top of your space, bending into your left knee. Ground your palms, shift your weight to your right foot, extend your left leg up and back, 3-leg down dog, breathe in. Bend in scorpion, breathe out. Engage your left glute to lift your hip up and then draw circles with your left knee to massage that hip, circling in both directions. Press through both hands the whole time, press down through the pads of your fingers. And then on your next exhale, tuck your left knee in toward your nose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Press up through your mid-upper back. Hug your left knee and your heel up tighter. Breathe out. Plank pose. You can bring your knees to the ground anytime. Whether you're on your knees or your toes, press up through your mid-upper back. Squeeze your triceps. Hips and shoulders stay roughly level. Float your left leg. Left toes still point to the ground. Engage your left glute. Lift your left leg up higher. If you're on your knee, same thing. Breathe. And then without moving your hips, bring your left foot out to the left. So you're using your primarily right outer hip and left gluteus medius. Draw your low belly and engage both quads. Bring that left leg back to center. Slowly lower to the ground. And then again, connect your hands behind you. Left hamstring strengthener. Bend your left knee, bring your heel to the outside of your glute. Press your right leg down into your mat. Draw your low belly in to support your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, peel your chest up. Exhale, use your hamstring. Hug your left heel in. Press down even more intentionally through your right leg. And then as you did on the right side, maybe play with flexing and pointing your foot. But as you point and flex that left foot, you're still drawing your right heel in towards your glute the whole time so that hamstring stays engaged through that pointing and flexing. And then notice your right leg, push it down. Low belly, and as you lift your chest up, make your arms intentional. Squeeze your triceps, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Hugging that left heel in. One more breath in. And exhale. Lower down, release your hands. Bend your knees, side back, child's pose. Breathe, big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Then separate your palms, shoulder width. Come forward onto your hands, breathe in. Curl your toes under downward facing dog, breathe out. From your dog, inhale, press up high and knee your toes. And exhale, heels toward the ground. Inhale, extend your right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands, low lunge. Let's lower your left knee to the ground, soften your left toes. Before you come on up, draw your low belly in. Press your hips forward. Keep that engagement in your low belly to support your low back. Actively push through your right foot, and now come on up. So there's really minimal arch here in your low back. You're drawing your low belly in, pressing your hips forward so you get that hip stretch. Actively push through your right foot. My foot could actually be a little bit more forward, so it's under my knee. And then press down through your back left shin. Breathe. Arms can be up, but focus is more on your legs. So any variation within your arms that allows you to focus on your legs. Big breath in. Push down through your right foot and left shin. Breathe out. And then reach your arms up. Breathe in on your exhale. Without pushing off your left foot, float your left leg, airplane pose. Once you're in your airplane, tap your hands to the ground as many times as you need to. As you did in your split, push through your right foot. Use your outer right hip, steer your left hip going down. And then as we did in our plank pose, low belly in, engage your left glute, lift your left leg up. Stay right here, maybe bring your left foot over toward the left. So you're mirroring what we did in that plank. Low belly in, arms engaged. Come back to center. Hug your knee in toward your nose. Again, mirroring that plank. Top of your head still reaches forward. And then bend into your right knee. Come on up. Standing knee raise. Breathe in. Exhale, figure four. Cross your left ankle over your right quad. Tap your left foot anytime you need it. Roll your shoulders up and back. Find a subtle tuck of your tail to minimize arch in your low back. Breathe, big breath in. Breathe out. Stay in your figure four. Of course, lower your left foot anytime you need it. We're going to do a little bit with that left hip. So, first you're going to balance. Figure four. Keeping your knee to the left, your foot to the right, You're gonna pick that left shin up. So you're using your left hip here. That right knee is still bent. Maybe lift up and lower a couple of times, maybe do it once. And then come to standing. Pedal out your heels, take it out. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Take a back bend, breathe out. Reach high, breathe in. On your exhale, flip your palms to face the sides of the room. Bring your right hand in front overhead, but right hand in front of your left so your palms come together to touch. Soften the tops of your shoulders. You're pressing your hands into each other. Press through your feet, engage your quads. Come to the right. Soften the tops of your shoulders. Big breath in. Squeeze your glutes, breathe out. Come back to center, leave your hands. Come to the left. Press through your feet. Soften the tops of your shoulders. Low belly in, so minimal arch in your low back. Come back to center, release your hands, connect your hands behind you. Shine your chest open, breathe in. And as long as this works for your shoulders, keep your bind. Forward fold. Gently draw your connected hands away from you. Tuck your chin to your chest, turn your head side to side, massage your neck. Come back to center. Keep your bind. Take a halfway lift. Breathe in. On your exhale, hold. Draw your low belly in so there's minimal arch in your low back. Push through your right foot. Float your left leg back behind you so you're coming into a bound airplane. Again, using your outer right hip. This time, steer your left hip open on top of your right, half moon. You can stay with your hands bound. You can release one or both hands to the ground anytime. Right outer hip is working to peel open through your left side. Left glute is engaged to lift that left leg up. Actively push through both feet, both your grounded right one and that floating left one. And then bend a tiny bit into your right knee. Right fingers soften, whether they're grounded or floating. And then slowly step back, warrior two. Straighten out your right leg. Right toes point forward, press your feet down, engage your quads. Triangle pose. Again here, use your outer right hip to peel open through your left side. Squeeze your quads, push through your feet. Big breath in. You gotta breathe out. Bend into your right knee, dip or reverse to your warrior. Hold. Yes, another breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Bring your right arm somewhere in front of your right leg. Still using that outer right hip to peel open through your left side body. If your right arm is on the inside of your right leg, press your arm and your leg into each other so you're engaging your right glute and hip a tiny bit more. Bend into your right knee. Push through both feet. And then soften that engagement of your arm and your leg pushing. Gaze in front of your right toes, keeping a stacked hip entry. So left hip stacked somewhere on top of your right. Float back into your half moon. Any variation within that left arm. And then that outer right hip is still working. Steer your left hip bone down. We're gonna keep rotating. Left palm comes to the ground. Your legs stop rotating when your hips are square, so left toes point to the ground, but right hand to your right hip. Low belly in, twist to the right, revolve your half moon, so it's that same twisting through your mid-upper back. Engage your left glute, lift your leg up higher, toes still point to the ground, breathe in. Exhale, step back, low lunge. Adjust your hands. Press your left palm down, horizon lunge. Drop the outside edges of your feet to the ground so your toes point to the right. And then pressing through your left side. Slide your right leg back, side plank, or gate pose. Bring your left knee to the ground. Push your hips up, breathe. One more breath in. Exhale, come to meet plank pose, whether that's toes or knees. Squeeze your quads, press up through your mid-upper back. Bring your forearms to the ground, forearm plank. Level your hips and your shoulders. One more breath in. Exhale, lower to the ground. Soften your feet. Taking a left shoulder stretch. Bring your left arm out to the side so your left palm is roughly shoulder height. Palm faces the ground. Bring your left ear to the ground. Roll to your left. Or, I never know which direction to name this, but roll toward that arm. Any variation within your right limbs. To add more stretch for your left shoulder, press down through the pinky edge side of your left hand. Couple more full breaths here. And then as you're ready, make your way back to center. Bend your knees, slide back, child's pose. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. And then hand shoulder width, come forward onto your palms, breathe in. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog, breathe out. Inhale, press up high into your toes. Exhale, heels toward the ground. Inhale, extend your left leg high, left side here. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, low lunge. Lower your right knee to the ground. Soften your right foot, and then again on this side before coming up. Draw your low belly in, press your hips forward. Actively press through your left foot, that front foot. And then keep that pressing down, lift up. Arms can be up, they can be by your sides. Honestly, doesn't really matter here. Actively press through your right shin and your left foot. Low belly in as you're still pressing your hips forward. And then as you're ready, reach your arms up. High belly, breathe in. On your exhale, without a lot of pushing, fly your arms. You're floating that right leg into an airplane pose. Engage your triceps. Use your outer left hip to steer your right hip bone down. Engage your right glute, lift your leg up, higher toes point to the ground. Keep your toes pointed to the ground. Bring your right foot to the right, only so far as that left hip stays right where it is. So same thing we did with the strap at the beginning. Come back to center. Hug your knee into your nose, keep reaching, or into your chest, keep reaching the top of your head forward. And then slowly come on up, standing knees, figure four. So right ankle over your left quad. Soften the tops of your shoulders. And then same thing here with that right hip. Find your relative balance. You're gonna pick that right shin up and lower it down. That left knee stays bent. And then as you're ready, slowly lower it down. Shake out your feet. And then we're coming back to that side body stretch. This time, left palm in front of your right. To make sure whatever palm was in front last time is the one behind this time. Arms up overhead. Press your hands together, and I should have said this the first time. If your palms don't touch like that, that's totally fine. Whatever direction we're reaching, just reach your hand around your wrist, and that works just as well. Breathe in. Press your feet down, squeeze your quads, come to the left. If your palms are touching, press your hands into each other. Come back to center, breathe in. Exhale, come to the right. Come back to center. Release your hands, connect your hands behind you. Shine your chest open, breathe in. Keep your bind. Forward fold. Gently draw your connected hands away from you. Tuck your chin to your chest, turn your head side to side. And then keep your bind as long as this works for your shoulders, otherwise release your hands. Take a halfway lift. Priority here to draw your low belly up toward your spine so that you're not creating a huge arch in your low back. Left foot stays right where it is. Right leg lifts up to that airplane pose with bound hands. I find my balance generally by quad engagement. So I'm actually adding a tiny bit of bend in my standing left knee because I'm using that bend in my knee automatically activates my quad. And it's my quad that's really helping me balance here. Okay, using your outer left hip, begin to steer your right hip open. Half moon. Release your bind whenever you want your fingers, don't need them. Engage your right glute, lift your leg up higher. You're using your outer left hip to steer open through your right side. And then bend into your left knee. Lighten your left fingers. Step back, warrior two. Bending into your left knee, left toes forward. Straighten your left leg. Press your feet down, squeeze your quads for your triangle. I tend to move my back foot in just maybe an inch or so that I can push down all the way. Triangle. Keep peeling open through your whole right side. Keep pressing through your feet, engaging your quads. Big breath in. Long breath out. Bend into your left knee. Reverse your warrior. Hold. Keep space in your left side body, extended side angle. Left arm somewhere in front of your left leg. If that arm is in front of your leg, push your arm and your left arm and leg into each other to engage your outer left hip. Peel open through your right side. Push through both feet into the ground. And then soften that pushing of your arm and your leg. Gaze in front of your left toes. Stacked hip entry back to half moon. Still using that outer left standing hip. Steer your right hip bone back to the ground. Right hand comes to the ground. So now your right toes point to the ground, hips square. We're continuing that rotation, left hand to your left hip, twist to the left, or left hand to the ceiling. That same base as before, push through your left foot to create space in your left hip crease. Right toes point to the ground, engage your right glute, lift your leg up. Breathe in. Exhale, step back, twisting lunge. Adjust your hands so they're in the right place for horizon lunge. And then horizon lunge. Drop the outside edges of your feet to the ground. Toes point to the left. Press your hips up. And then side plank or gate pose. Bring your right knee to the ground anytime. Push your hips up. Big breath in. On your exhale, turn this back into your plank pose on your knees or your toes. Press up through your mid-upper back, breathe in. Exhale, bring your forearms to the ground, forearm plank. Hips and shoulders level. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes. Breathe in. And exhale, lower down. Right side shoulder stretch. Bring your right palm out to the side, roughly shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower. Palm faces the ground. Right ear to the ground, roll on to your side. Any variation within your left limbs. And then add more stretch for your right shoulder, external rotation, by pressing down through the pinky edge side of your right hand. Couple more full breaths. And then as you're ready, come back to center. And then turn onto your back, take your block with you. Start with your block between your feet. Maybe widthwise. Arms, arms up overhead. Inhale, lower your legs down to a hover. Lower your arms back. Exhale, lift up. Stay breathing. Exhale, reach up, lift your hips up that tiny bit. Another breath in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open up. Hold, breathe out. Big breath in. Squeeze your legs. Lift back up. You got it. Stay, breathe in. On your exhale, little lift of your hips without momentum, lift your hands. Breathe in. Exhale, lower. One more time like this. Inhale, open up. Low spine stays grounded, press into the block. Exhale, lift back up. Breathe in. Exhale, little lift of your hips and your arms. And then lower down. Let's bring your block to the ground. Place it so the block is on the lower height and wide. And then probably extend your block out a little bit so that when you outstretch your legs or straighten your legs, your heels are on the block. Okay, arms reach up overhead. Engage your quads, engage your glutes, draw your low belly in. On your inhale, lift your hips up, arms come up overhead. And exhale. Engage your whole lower half. Inhale, hips lift, arms up overhead, low belly in the whole time. Exhale, lower, so those hamstrings are really working here. We're gonna do two more like this. Press through your heels, engage your quads. Inhale, lift your hips, arms overhead. Exhale, lower your hips, arms back up. Adjust your feet if you need to. One more here, press your heels down. Squeeze your legs. Inhale, lift your hips, arms up overhead. Exhale, lower your hips, reach your arms up. Leave the block. Bend your knees. Bring your feet about hip width. Bring your fingers to graze your heels. Press your feet and your arms down. Lift your hips. Bridge pose. Without moving your feet, pull your heels back toward your arms. Press through your shoulder blades. Engage your glutes. Draw your low belly in. Breathe in. Exhale. Lower down. Toe heel your feet to the edges of your mat. Windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then come back to center. You're going to take reverse pigeon or incline figure 4. Cross your right ankle over your left quad. Your left foot can stay grounded or gently draw your legs toward you. Shoulders soft. Big breath in. Long breath out. And then as you're ready, release your hands, switch your sides, left ankle over your right quad. Again, your foot can be grounded. You can hug your legs gently toward you. Shoulders soften. Big breath in. Long breath out. And then release your hands, hug both knees into your chest. Take any intuitive movement here. Rock left and right. Circle your knees or your feet. Circle your ankles or your feet a few times to massage your ankles, especially after doing that hamstring lift. And then come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest, tuck your chin up into your chest. Take the tightest squeeze of your day so far as you breathe in. And exhale into your Shavasana, whichever final shape of class feels best to your body in this moment. Notice if you're gripping in your hips or your ankles or your shoulders, your neck. Thank you for being here to share yourself and your practice and letting me share that with you. Namaste.